And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 198 of Player Life. Feels like it's been a while since I went live. I don't know why, but you know, I think it was Friday. Went live. All is good. All is well. Here in Tokyo, Japan. What day is it today? It is Tuesday, the 30th of November. Almost into December. God damn, time flies when you're having fun. Um, yeah. So today, I want to talk about mistakes guys make when they are cold approaching women. Um, because a lot of guys make a lot of mistakes. Usually just small ones. Honestly, if you're out there and you're trying to approach women, you're actually trying to do cold approach. You're better than the 99% of other guys. So you know, uh, yeah, it's better to approach than not to approach, even if you're gonna make a mistake. Because think about it, the reality is like the more you approach, the more women you get experience with, the better you are. You're gonna get better at it. You know. It's always better to take action than not to take action. And you got to remember that. You have to really remind yourself that it's like it's just perfectly normal for for like the vast majority of your cold approaches not to end up uh for nothing to end up happening with them. It's not a big deal. You're not an exception to the rule. You're not like, because you're getting rejected, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, that you're not as desirable, that there could be flaws in your game, there could be holes in your game. There could be, but there's things that you can do to make your game better, to make your approaches better, to increase the probability. But yeah, at the end of the day, even if your game is like flawless, you perfect game, you're dressed well, everything's like, you're still gonna get rejected. It's just the way it is. Um, it's just men and women are different. Like, it's just, we operate differently. We don't operate in the same way. Men and women have sex for different reasons, really. Men have to pursue sex. We really do. Like, it's it's just something it's built into our nature. We're hardwired that way. That men pursue and seek out sex, while women kind of stroll around and kind of just wait for sex to come to them. They're not even necessarily thinking about sex. Like, you could meet a woman and she could have woken up that morning and have had absolutely no intention of having sex that day. She just has no desire to do it. But if you turn her buttons on, then that's she could end up having sex. But guys don't operate that way. Guys don't, like, we're not the same. Like, guys do wake up. If you're a healthy guy, you wake up in the morning and you you should be good to go, right? Literally right then and there. if you're yeah. Yeah, if you're a healthy man, that's just the way it is. But women don't operate that way. We've just seen it time and time again. Yeah, but some of the mistakes guys make, yeah, it's kind of funny. There's this thing that Japanese guys do when they're approaching women. I see it. When Japanese guys are doing cold approach, some of them have the worst, like, cold approach body language you can even imagine. It's almost comical. It's so bad. It's almost comical. Um, like, absolutely no frame. So what Japanese guys do? Well, not all of them, but it's a stereotypical thing, and I've only ever seen Japanese guys do it. Um, so a girl will be walking along, whatever, and a Japanese guy, he'll run up alongside her, and like he'll kind of bow down, like he'll just his body language will just like retreat, like apologetically, like he literally hunched down, like really low down, like and he look up at her like this. It's so fucking bizarre. I don't fucking I don't know what it like this. I'm not saying this is just I saw it one time. No, this is a thing that you'll see them doing. And it's like they're like Gollum or something, like creeping down, like looking at like and they basically said things like, "Excuse me, sorry," like, "Oh, what do you like? Can you let's have a drink?" And it's like begging apologetically. And the one thing about game is you never like one thing about cold approach. One of the main things is you never like apologize. You never apologize like that. Yeah, and I'm not exaggerating. Some of you guys might think I might try have to try and get some footage of that sometime because it's quite common to see in some areas of Tokyo that you can see guys doing game. Like it's pretty, if you see Japanese guys doing game, it'd be quite common to see that actually. It's like, yeah, I didn't. I just it's literally like a joke. It's literally you can't even make it up. It's like it's the worst. It's the worst way to approach a girl. Like literally, you look ridiculous. Like you look like a fucking clown. You look like a weirdo too. Like I don't know. Maybe they feel like yeah. The girls will be somehow endeared to them because they're being so pathetic. Um, Yeah, no, I don't recommend that ever, like to do that. So like rolling up beside a girl, like they're beside her, so they're kind of in front of her, and they look up at her like a fucking, like a I don't know, like a troll or something, like a gargoyle, like Gollum, like oh sumasen, like there's like oh sorry for bothering you. Oh I'm so sorry. Oh I'm so sorry. You're so beautiful. Oh like simping to the highest order, like worshiping at their feet. Yeah, don't ever do that. I've never seen foreign guys do it that badly, but at the same time, I've seen foreign guys have poor body language where they'll slump down. Maybe not as bad, like this kind of absurdity, like ridiculousness, like that I've seen Japanese guys do. But yeah. So that's the other thing is Japanese guys will be very very persistent. Like so they'll be really pathetic. No, okay. Let me just clear this up. Not all Japanese guys. Oh, I have to be all PC and shit. But yeah, obviously not all Japanese guys. But I've literally only ever seen this kind of body language, this kind of approach in Japan. I haven't seen. I've seen foreign guys be pretty bad with approaches, but I've only ever seen the Japanese guys with this particular kind of approach that's like it's almost absurd. Like it is absurd. It's not. It is. It's an absurd way to approach a woman. Like you look like fucking pathetic when you do that. Like you're crouching down, like hobbling, like groveling, like begging, like oh sumasen, oh what do you like literally like creeping into yourself, like getting it like all hunched in, making your body look as weak as possible. Pathetic, like pathetic. Like even if that worked, I still wouldn't want to do it. I still wouldn't want to do it if that even if that worked. Like if somehow that was something that worked in Japan, I still wouldn't want to do it. You just look like a fucking dork. You look like a nerd. You look like a weakling. You look like a creep. Like you just don't do that. Like yeah, I don't think most guys would do that, but like I don't know. I could probably go out today, and if I waited around long enough at a pickup area, I'm sure I could get some footage of that. That's how common. That's how many times I've seen it. Yeah, it's not some rare. It's not this thing I saw once, and it's like I'm tarring them all with the and I'm tarring them all with the same brush. No, it's like I've literally seen that like many times, and yeah, it's weird. So a lot of well, obviously most of the girls will like when Japanese girls get really pissed off or like they really don't want to talk to a guy, they'll like, okay, so the guy will come up alongside her, and then she'll kind of weave like to the other side. Like that's a really aggressive rejection from a Japanese girl when she like sharply changes direction, like in because the guy gets in her way. She'll like stamp her foot and kind of wave around the other side, and then yeah, again, this is another thing that I see Japanese guys that he'll like follow her and like come up on the other side and do the same thing and just literally kind of harassing them, and it's not a good thing to do. Um, yeah, it's just not like just one of my things. The way I approach game is like when I approach a girl, there has to be some indication that she's willing to speak to me. I'm not gonna be a guy that's gonna be like persistent. I'm not like it's just I'm it when I see guys being like persistent and like I just see it as harassment. It's like I'm not gonna try and continue talking to someone that doesn't want to talk to me because I know that pisses me off. Like personally speaking, that really pisses me the fuck right off. If I'm on the street, like anywhere, even if I'm out and about and like if I'm in a nightlife area and there's some guys sometimes guys try and hustle you, try and get you into their bar or club or like it pisses me off when they're like, I'm like, hey dude, I'm fine, good, I'm not going out tonight, I'm not going to a strip club, I'm not going to a bar, I'm not going to your titty bar, like fuck off. I don't say that, but like I really do want to say it because it's annoying when someone keeps trying to talk to you, you don't want to talk to them. But pretty much all the girls that I've ever ended up smashing, having sex with from day game, I didn't have to be I didn't have to be persistent with almost any of them. Like there was some indication right off the bat that she was gonna talk to me. It wasn't a thing where I was like, oh, where she ignored me and I went after her and like no, that doesn't work. If it does work, it's not. It's a juice isn't worth the squeeze. You're gonna like you're running a risk of getting in trouble for harassment. Like as it is, day game isn't. It's not harassment. It's not harassment to say hello to a chick. And that's basically all you're doing with day game. But it is harassment if you keep fucking bothering someone that doesn't want to talk to you. It's fucking annoying. I mean, like I said, even when guys do that, when whatever scouts or street hustlers or whatever, when they do that to me, it pisses me fucking off. Like it's fucking pisses me off. I mean, it happened last night. I was walking through an area, and this, I don't know, I don't know where he's from, maybe Nigeria or something. But he was like, "Hey man, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, okay." I was like, "Hey bro, I'm fine." I knew he just wanted me to come to a bar or something. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I got a meeting to go to. It was like, "Oh no, 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 let's go to the spot, man. Like, why you out right now? Let's go. You want to go? You want to see some titties?" I'm like, "Bro, like, I'm good. I gotta go somewhere. I'm meeting someone," and he kept coming, man. Oh, that shit pissed me right off, man. That shit really fucking pissed me off. So that's just like I get it. I can get why some women get really pissed off at guys. Like, they get really pissed off if guys are persistent. It pisses me off too. It really pisses me off when someone keeps trying to talk to me when I don't want to talk to them. Like it really pisses me off. Like fuck off. I don't know you. Fuck off out of my face. Like when you tell someone politely that you don't, or you just ignore someone, you're telling them that you don't want to talk to them. So it's the same with it is the same with, well, just understand it's the same with women. You don't need just yeah, I'm not even trying to put guys off from doing like cold approach at all. It's fine. I'm encouraging guys to cold approach, but not like in a way that you're a fucking pest. You're an annoyance. You're a fucking little fucking worm. You're a little mosquito on someone. No, like You approach a woman, you look for signs of receptivity. She doesn't give any. She doesn't like. She ignores you. Then you fuck off. You don't continue to talk to her. You next. There's tons of women out there. You don't need to deal with these fucking hoes that don't want to talk to you. All right. You don't need to do it. There's no need to do that. Like there's tons of other women. You're just wasting your time. You're literally wasting your time. Like I've been doing this years, and like there's like it just doesn't work. Like it doesn't work. It's not a good thing to do. Um, so yeah, you want to. It's all. I mean, even I'm just really cutthroat with it as well. Really cutthroat. Like even when it comes to like, even if a girl does talk to me, she's receptive, she's friendly, she's talking away, and then it comes to the point where like I'm trying to get her number or whatever, get her Instagram, and I say, let's link up sometime, have a drink, have some coffee or something. And she says, oh yeah, sure, maybe. I go, okay, well, let's exchange Instagram. Let's. And she says, maybe next time. I don't ask twice. I do not ask twice. Don't. Like, I don't do it. I say, okay, no problem. And I bounce out of the situation. Again, it's like if you have to beg for a number or a lead, fair enough. If she said she didn't have Instagram, then I'd go for the line or their WhatsApp or whatever. Just because maybe they actually don't like, they're probably lying, but maybe they don't have Instagram. But certainly, if they refuse to give me any contact, I never ask twice. I'll never ever ask twice, and I think you might as well just accept. They're literally being honest with you when they refuse to give you the contact. It's like it's game, like they're not interested, like they're just not. There's no point in getting their, because in the past I would say, why not, we might as well just exchange contacts since we talked. And sure enough, they'd give you the contact. But would anything ever happen with those girls that you had to like persuade to give you a contact? No, nothing would ever happen with those girls. Nothing ever happened with those girls. Like even the girls that do give you the contacts, like, willingly, they're even, it's not even guaranteed that they're going is something's going to happen with them. So if you have to persuade a girl, if she's like refusing and you're trying to persuade her, like you're wasting your fucking time. Don't ask twice. Just have some fucking dignity and say, okay, your loss. You don't even need to say that, but you say, all right, good luck. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing to see, but sometimes you'll have this like you'll see the regret in their face. You'll see it. You'll kind of state it. Sometimes you'll see that they there's a look in their face when you kind of say okay, and you're like leaving. That there's just this faint look of regret in their face because they maybe wanted you to persist more, but no, I just say no. I'm not gonna do that. I just say no. You know, just you as a man, you roll up to her. You're a gentleman. You talk to her nicely. You I don't mean nice guy shit, but you were pleasant. You had you built some rapport, and then you shot your shot. You went and asked for her contact. She refused you. What more can you do as a man? What more can you do as a man? What is she expecting you to do? So if they don't play ball up until that point, let them go. Let them fucking go. Let them go, and you just like you leave it at that. You say, okay, have a nice day. Bounce out. Like you're not gonna be that guy. You're not gonna be that bitch that's groveling at her feet, begging her for a contact. No, it's not. It doesn't show that you're a high value guy if you're going to be doing something like that. You've already done everything you needed to do. You've done everything. Like you've showed up. You've like a cold approached her. You've talked to her. You've showed you've game. You've like showed your confidence. She knows you're fucking. She knows you're a well calibrated guy. She sees you. She sees everything about you. So if she refuses to like give you a contact at that point, it's over for her. Like it's over for it's like no, like there's not going to be any more negotiation. There's not going to be any more discussion. It's like okay, have a nice day, bye. Like there's nothing. And like I was saying, sometimes you'll see this beautiful kind of like regret on their face, and it's like it's over. No, like but that's it. It's good luck, goodbye, have a nice day, and you move on to the next girl that is just gonna like. The reality is like you know very common to say this, but it really, really is a numbers game. Like when you're having a bad day, or if you go out and you do a game and you're just getting like rejected and rejected, it feels bad. But it just takes one girl to turn your mood around. As in, like you just have to remind yourself that you're not like there's nothing really wrong with you. Yeah, sure, you could have some. There could be issues with your approach, and you could be doing stuff weird, and it could be affecting your outcome. But at the end of the day, it's so normal. It's so normal to get rejected. Like it's rejected as in just girls ignoring you, like just saying they're busy, saying it's not a big deal. Like just don't feel like there's something wrong with you, or that you're not worthy of women or something. No, this is just the way that works in the real world. Men and women are different. Men pursue sex, women pretty much don't. They pursue it for different reasons. They pursue it for different reasons. Women are pursuing the highest value guy that they can get. That's what women are doing. They're pursuing the highest value they can get. Men are obviously also pursuing like hot women, but men are much less picky. Like at the end of the day, at the end of the day, a hole is a goal for a lot of men. Like obviously they do want the hot girls, but they'll men will settle for sex, and a lot of simps, a lot of guys will settle even in relationships with girls that are way below them, just because they have a scarcity mindset, and they don't have many options, or they have no options. They've literally no options. So like when we talk about options, you need to have options. Literally, most guys have no options. Like or they have literally zero options. They've no women around them. So like if they have a possibility to get sex on the regular with a chick, um even if she's not that good looking, a lot of guys will take that. King Daniel in house, what's up? What is good? um yeah, a lot of guys will jump on it, because they think it's gonna get them regular sex, and it might do for a while, but you know what what's the point? What is the point? What's the point in being in a relationship with someone that you know that you that you wouldn't really you know that you're punching down. If you feel like you're punching down, you're not in the right relationship at all. But there's a lot of guys out there as well that there's a lot of guys out there as well that like they're punching way down, but they have such a scarcity mindset that they don't even realize it. They're so like they just don't have a lot of guys. Some guys out there have serious self-confidence issues, so they might be pretty decent looking guy, or pretty high value guy, but they'll end up with some like fucking 5 out of 10, and they'll think she's like the best they can do. She'll think that, like, yeah, I'll always remember a friend of mine back in Ireland. Like he was like this 6'4", 6'5" Chad, like literally a fucking Chad, and he dated this literal 5 out of 10, like fucking 5 out. This guy could have been a 10 out of 10 guy. Like I'm telling you, this guy was like a chiseled jaw, like 6'5", fucking good looking guy. He was dating a 5 out of 10, and like This guy had serious confidence issues. He's kind of like this like gentle giant. Like he was soft spoken and like this guy could have been a Chad. Like he was just around the wrong people. Didn't have good mentors. Didn't have people to tell him, to let him know that what he was capable of. Um, I'll always remember that. I don't say I lost touch with him, but yeah, he was a real what a kind of what a potential that guy had to be a serious player, but he never capitalized on it. You know, never did. I don't know what he's doing now. Even uh, a boogie says, "What's up, Mac? What is good, man? What is good? All is good here. All is good." But yeah, man, you gotta capitalize. Nothing worse than unrealized potential. Imagine only just it's such a tragic thing, isn't it? Unrealized potential. It's like a tragic. It's something just like something that never gets realized, something that never happens. You never become the best version of yourself. It's a tragic thing. It's like it's just eternal. Like we only get one shot, one shot of this life. Might as well make it the best. You know, a lot of people take this world. I guess you know they take it too seriously. You know, I do that too sometimes, but I gotta remind myself, shit, we're all gonna fucking die. I mean, some people, some people can take that like, oh, that we're all gonna die, so we have to be even, we have to take things even more seriously. But I'm kind of like on the opposite side. I'm like, we're all gonna die, so like, fuck it, kind of thing. Like, just don't take everything so seriously. And that's why I just, when I roll up to chicks, I just I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm like, I have that. Yeah, we're all gonna die anyway, so like, who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, why are you fretting over little small things? Fretting over a girl rejecting you. The rewards are far greater than a girl, rejecting you, getting your little feelings hurt over a girl ignoring you, or even, honestly, like, you can fuck some of the hottest girls you'll ever fuck just from doing cold approach. It's just like it's too easy when once you get in the swing of it. Um, but yeah, it just takes like once you learn the basics, like once you realize the possibilities, it kind of just boils down to like how much work you put into it, like how many cold approaches you do. Like that's what it boils down to, because you're gonna get a it's always gonna be like that. It's gonna be like you'll get a certain percentage of the girls that you approach. Like, it's not an exact science because there's a lot of variables. There's so many variables, but so it can also be like, it can be quite random. It can be quite a random thing. It can be like, depending on how it just there's a lot of variables depending on how you're dressed, like who you're approaching, like all the kind of girls you're approaching, all that kind of stuff. But in general, like, there's obviously going to be a percentage of girls that you approach that you end up having sex with. Like, that's the way it is. So, and I guess that's the fun thing about day game is just, um you never know. Like, you never know. But yeah, like I said, like, immediately when you approach a girl, you're gonna know. Like, you're gonna know immediately whether they want to talk to you or not. And if they don't want to talk to you, then just don't bother talking. Don't bother trying to, like, be persistent with someone who doesn't want to talk to you. It's just not worth it. What is the point? Even if she, because like with girls like that, like, even if you're persistent with them, and then they end up giving you their Instagram or something, they're probably gonna block you or ignore you or delete you anyway. Just some girls will give you their contact just to get rid of you, literally just to get rid of you. Like, they they think it's less hassle. So that's why I'm always very like I'm very keen I'm very tuned in to how they respond to me, like immediately right off the bat. Like as soon as like they see me, I'm very like tuned into their body language. Like, do they look receptive? Did she smile? Did she blush? You know, a girl when a girl blushes, like when you approach her, like that's a very good sign. That's a, like a very visual like representation that she's like embarrassed or excited to that you approach her, or nervous, like in a good way, that you approached her. A sign that a girl is like actually just not interested is when she's just like dead, like her face is just like there's no reaction or something, or she looks even bothered, like she'll her face will like frown, or she'll have even like just resting bitch face. You just won't affect her really, or if you do affect her, it's like you're affecting her in an annoying in an annoying way, where she's just bothered by you. So if you feel that, if you see that, you know, you don't need to stay in the set. Like, I mean, sometimes girls will like be so like yeah, they'll sometimes they'll talk to you, but like they'll just they won't be. I don't know. They'll talk to you. It's kind of like they're on the fence. They're not even. They'll talk to you just out of boredom. It's not that they're interested in you, but they're just kind of bored. So they're just kind of using you to fill in time. Um, I was gonna say, yeah. So they'll use you just to fucking talk for a bit before they're meeting their friend or whatever. But they're not that interested. If I ever feel like that, I'll um I'll just like shoot for their contact and bounce out. And like I said, if they refuse to give the contact, I'm not playing ball with that. Like I'm like, okay, have a nice day. There's no like, oh please, like, oh please, can I have your Instagram? Oh, I just want to be your friend. Oh no, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Like there's no point. Like yeah, like you just start to understand it. Like you start to put the dots together pretty soon. Well, it actually takes a while, but I've over a long period of time I've realized shit. Like all these women I fucked, all of them, none of them ever made it. None of them ever made it difficult. None of them ever refused to give me their fucking Instagram. If a girl refuses to give you her Instagram, even after you've talked or you've built up some rapport, why would you think that she's gonna come and meet you on a date? Like, just it's not rocket science. It's not very, what makes you think, and girls know they're not gonna meet you again. She know they're not gonna give up the chance. Like if a girl genuinely kind of is intrigued by you and thinks she likes you, she's not gonna refuse to give you your Instagram because she knows that yeah, she could miss the opportunity. She's not gonna give up. She's not gonna risk missing that opportunity. Yeah, so just take it. Take the cold hard truth and count your losses and bounce on. It's not even a loss. Who gives a fuck? It was like 2 or 3 minutes out of your out of your time. It's not going to affect you that much. So just bounce out. Don't ask twice. That's what I'd say. Don't ask twice. Never ask twice for a bitch's number. Never do it. It's like it just shows class, shows high value when you don't. It shows that you're like, okay, no problem, like literally no problem. Like there's nothing on me, like, and you just roll out and you go to and find another girl that will give you her number. Because trust me, like the data I've compiled the data. The data has been compiled, and any girl that's ever made it difficult or like made me, because I've learned this so through trial and error. You know, trial and error. That's how I learned. A girl would say, "Oh, so I don't give out my Instagram to like to guys I don't know. It's like, come on, like, are you serious? And I'd be like, I just want to be friends, and just we just link up since we talked. Yeah, and they'd end up giving you the Instagram. Would anything ever happen with those girls? No, nothing ever happened with those girls. Nothing ever happened with those girls. Like, nothing ever did, because they were telling me, like, now I know. Like, obviously I've known for quite a while, but now I know that when they refuse to, like, when they literally refuse to give you their Instagram or any contact detail, they're telling you they're not interested. Just take it as it is. Doesn't matter how cute she is, doesn't matter how hot she is. Just say fuck it. Okay, no problem. Good luck. It is what it is. Like, there's not a big deal. Like, there's plenty of other girls out there that will give you their Instagram, that will give you their contact. Will you fuck all of them? No. You'll fuck again. You'll fuck a certain percentage of the girls that of whose contacts you get. So it's a numbers game. It's a percentages game, right? It really is. Yeah. You'll get a you'll you know you'll get a certain percentage of contacts of the girls that you approach, and then you of the contacts that you compile, you'll fuck a certain percentage of that. So it's like, it really is. It's a percentages game. It's a numbers game. Just understand that. Like, even the best guys, the smoothest fucking guys, like guys that understand game, everything, good looking guys, well dressed, have money. Even these guys get rejected. So, like, it's pretty fucking wild out there. Um, yeah, it's wild, but you just got to be an animal. You got to be a savage, but you got to be calibrated. You got to be fucking calibrated. That's the number one thing. Calibration, understanding your environment, understanding the cues, not being a fucking pest. Being a savage, but not being a pest. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You're not being a fucking worm. You're not being a weasel. You're not being a mosquito. You're a lion. You're savage, right? You go in there, you make your move. If it doesn't work out, you're on to the next, right? It is what it is. No big deal. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? Aaron Oren House. What up, Mac? Great show as always. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Yeah, what was I gonna say? So even when the girls, yeah. So I was out. When was this? I think it was Friday night. Yeah, it was last Friday night. I was out, and I saw this girl, right? And she's walking along, kind of like, she's wandering along the street, and she's looking at her phone. So I opened her. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's just like, "Oh, I'm out for a walk." I was like, "With who?" And she was like, I'm alone." And it's a Friday night in a kind of a nightlife area. So I was like, "Oh, let's go for a drink." And she kind of was hesitant, but I said, what else are you gonna do? So she came along anyway, and we're talking, and I'm trying to figure out. I asked her, did she have any foreign friends? She said, When she says that means like she has some experience with foreigners. Like, she kind of wasn't answering me directly, and I was like, well, have you ever? It was kind of like, got to the point where I was like trying to make a move on her. So, but she was kind of being standoffish. So I want to figure her out. I was kind of getting bored of the situation. Because actually, yeah, that's why. Because I wanted to get the last train home, right? It was the last train, and I was like, either I'm not going to stay out. I'm going to get the train, because it's like, I don't want to have to get a taxi. It's like going to be hard to get a taxi, and it's like going to cost like, I mean, yeah, I'm not basically not going to waste my time with a girl that isn't going to come home with me. So, I kind of just, this girl was making it difficult. So I kind of was like, yeah. So have you ever dated a foreigner? She's like, no. And I was like, have you ever hooked up with a foreigner? And she was like, actually, yes. And I was like, oh, who? When was this? She was like, oh, it was like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, really? Who was it? Where was he from? She was like, oh, he was French. And I was said, oh, what happened? She was like, oh, well, he kind of approached me like you did. I was like, okay, all right. So was it good? And she was like, yeah, it was good. I'm kind of. Long story short, she was basically saying that she was kind of. It was so funny because she said she was the reason she was out alone is because she was trying to find the guy that that fucked her. Um, and what was it? Yeah. So she and I was like, why don't you just message him? Why don't you just text him? And she said she didn't get his contact. So he day gamed her, this parent French guy, day gamed her, pumped her, and then didn't even get her contact details. And this was like, it's not surprising. I know all this, but it's like it's just like, wow, it's okay. Right. This is the kind of guy that girls pine after. Not the fucking nice guy, not the guy. This girl was out walking the streets looking for a guy to pump her, picked her up, pumped her, and then didn't even get her contact detail. She's out walking the fucking streets looking for this guy. Fucking hilarious, but it's just like, wow. It's just like the red pills keep falling down. It's like the red pill. Life is just a red pill for me at this point. It's just like, wow. But it's amazing. It's amazing. Like a guy like just fucking probably raw dog there, like um, and she just told me this. So I don't know. I've talked about this before. So I've talked about this before a lot. Well, not a lot, but I'll mention it again since it happened. So I have a fucking rule, right? So when I'm on a date, when I'm in any kind of situation with a girl that I'm hitting on, I'm trying to bang. When you're talking with them and they bring up, okay, fair enough, I brought it up, but she was very open to talk about it. She didn't hesitate to tell me about the fact that this guy like picked her up on the street and fucked her. She didn't like hold back or like so. My rule is like when a girl says that or brings something in, into the conversation like that. Well, I brought it up, but she was very forthcoming with the information. Like she told me, like it happened 3 weeks ago. He picked her up on the street and he fucked her, didn't get her contact details and all of that. So when a girl sexualizes the conversation, as in she openly admits fucking and stuff like that, or with exes or sex friends or pickup from dating apps, anything like that. Only one or two things are going on. Either she she doesn't want she's never gonna fuck you. She's kind of just like telling you the truth. Like she's just like she's kind of like she's not withholding anything because she feels like because she knows that you're not even a potential. She knows that she's not even interested in fucking you. She doesn't see you as boyfriend material. She's just kind of talking to you and she's telling you the truth. This kind of sometimes this happens. Sometimes you can get the truth from girls sometimes when they're not invested in you at all. Um, so either they're never gonna fuck you, or they want to fuck you. They're kind of like open about talking about sex. So at that point, it's like you just make your move at that point. That's my rule, kind of thing. It's like when you start talking about sex, which as a rule of thumb, I try not to do. Actually, I try not to do. But the thing about this girl is that she was kind of being standoffish. She wasn't allowing me to escalate. She was kind of like keeping the distance. So and I wanted to get the last train because I didn't want to stay out later and miss the last train and have to get a taxi and all this bullshit. But anyway, so at that point I was like, I just said to her, let's get back to my let's go back to my place and watch a movie then. And yeah, she refused to come. So I was like, okay, have a nice night, and I left. But that's just a real life example of well, there was a few lessons in that. It was like, wow, it's okay. Well, it's not lessons. It's not really a lesson to me because I know all this, but it's just like reaffirming. It's reaffirming what I know about female nature, reaffirming everything. It's like, wow, it's like she's fucking walking the streets at like 11:30 p.m. I think. Yeah, it was because it was around last train. So she's walking the streets at 11:30 p.m. looking for a guy that pumped and dumped her. What more do you need to know? What more do you need to know about female nature? Meanwhile, there's probably guys that fucking took her on 5 or 6 dates. There's probably guys out there that fuck her, took her all to these nice restaurants, and she ghosted. She probably ghosted those guys. She probably like didn't give up anything to those guys. But um, there's a wee lesson in that. Just understand that girls pine after guys like that do what do what I do and do what that French guy does. That I don't know who that French guy was, but he obviously was a bit of a dog like me because he fucking just picked her up, pumped her, didn't even get her contact detail, and then she's out walking the fucking streets. She's looking for this guy. She actually had a look about her that was like, it's just kind of melancholy. She kind of looked like sad and stuff. And it's like, girls like girls hate nice guys. Girls fucking hate nice guys. Girls get wet over savages, right? You know, and it's fucking funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. You don't get rewarded for being a nice guy in this world, man. You do not. You don't. You don't. You don't get rewarded for it. Like, you know, and that's what it is. Aaron says, I think the guy was named Sterling Cooper. Sterling Cooper's not French. Sterling Cooper's Australian. And he's not in Japan as far as I know. But let me say, Aaron R says, I think the best guys bang under 20% of the women they approach, probably under 10%. I'm nowhere near the best looking, smooth, best dressed guy, but the best guys are the guys who approach the most. That's it. The guys who fuck the most are getting rejected the most. I know a guy that in Tokyo, right? And he's not involved in the online this space, like the red pill space or anything like that, but he's like this average looking dude. Like he's an average looking guy, like average as they fucking come. Like he's not a handsome guy or anything like that. He's a very average guy, and and this guy is a fucking savage, like when it comes to pickup. And it's not that his pickup skills are amazing or anything like that. It's not. It's this guy just has a fucking thirst to fuck a lot of women. And his whole thing, like 99% of his lays are from pickup. And I met him a few days ago, and because it's this guy this guy goes hard at cold approach. And like I said, it's not that his skills are better or than mine or anything, or other guys that do day game, but it's this guy puts in the fucking hours. Like it's his hobby. Like for me, it's just I'm just not willing to put in that much hours doing it. I just want to do other things, like but yeah. So this guy I talked to him, I think a few days ago, and I was like, so how many what's your numbers for this year? And this is the thing. This guy counts his lays, and it's like I don't count my lays anymore. Like I'm kind of past that. To be quite honest, I think it's kind of lame. Like guys that count their lame, like each to their own. But just personally, I always thought it was kind of lame for people that count their lays. That's no shade on anyone who does it, but I just do think it is kind of nerdy. It kind of shows that you feel like you're holding on to something. I don't know. It feels like it's like, but anyway, I asked him, I think he said he would fuck like 130 chicks since January 1st. Like, but doesn't surprise me because this guy is out every day. This is what he does. This is what he does after work. He goes out and does day game. That's what he does. He puts in hours, and he's a savage. Like he goes after girl. Like every girl that he sees, like he's on it. And he gets laid from it. Like he gets laid, and it's not a surprise. It's not like, whoa, what's your technique? Oh, how do you do it? Yeah, he knows how to talk to girls. He has frame, he has confidence. Like, but my point is, it's not that his skill is anything amazing or anything. Like he has some incredible, like, oh, he just no, this guy fucking puts in numbers, and then he gets a certain percentage out of that. All right, so this guy has approached thousands of girls, like thousands, and he ended up fucking about 130 of them. So like thousands of girls this guy approached. So this is this, you know, they're the rewards you get from it if you put in the work. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's just, you know, there's things that you can do to make your game better, but um, Mr. Ben says, how do you avoid the nice guy frame? Well, you avoid being apologetic about anything that you're doing. Like you avoid apologetic body language. Uh, yeah. So you just have to be. You're kind of like, you don't apologize for what you want, and you kind of, although you don't say that, hey, I want to fuck you. You don't go up to a girl and say, hey, I'm horny and shit. No, no. But your body language, your demeanor, your confidence level tells her that you want to fuck her, right? She knows. So that's how you avoid the nice guy frame. Just the calmness, the smoothness, the eye contact, the way you look at her, the way you shake her hand, all that tells her this guy means business. This guy's gonna dick me down good. Like, you know, that's the kind of, you kind of demonstrate that through your body language, things like that, not verbally. You don't say, hey, like, I want to bang you, you're so sexy. No, she'll be creeped out. You haven't given time to develop the rapport to become that verbal with a girl yet. You can really turn a girl on through, you know, dirty talk. I talked about that with Sterling Cooper before, but yeah, the dirty talk works, but you gotta get build up some rapport. You gotta give more to them before you do the dirty talk. Like, dirty talk really can work with a girl for sure. Like, I mean, and one thing I like to say to girls is, like, I don't know, it's just like, you're fucking, you know, when I'm making out with them, and there's some like really sweet girl, like she's some really luscious lips and whatever. I'll just say to her, "You're fucking delicious. Like, you're fucking delicious." And she's like, they just like, they get so turned on when I say that. You know, they get so you're fucking delicious. Some girls are, or some girls are absolutely fucking delicious. I gotta say that, like, in the literal sense, they're fucking delicious. Like, their pussy's delicious. Some girls are not. Like, some girls are not delicious, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. If a girl isn't delicious, as in literally, I don't mean that as some, like, if a girl doesn't taste good or smell good, I'm not going to see them again. I'll have no desire to see them again. A girl has to taste good. When a girl tastes good, like her pussy tastes good, that's like, she's a winner. Then she can come around again and again, for a good while. But yeah, guys, I'm about to, let me see. Gotta roll out and go and do a workout with a friend of mine, Jair. But, you know, if you're looking to, you know, by the way, if you're anyone in this, just do me a favor and smash the like button. You know, fucking, I'm faffing around 1,000 subscribers right now. It's annoying because YouTube keeps, I don't know. People hit the bell notification too. Do me a solid. Um, you know, try and keep me above 1,000. You know, I'm almost at 200 episodes, man. You know, putting in the work here, dishing out the red pills. You know, but yeah, if you're looking to support the channel, you know, you want to learn, you want to fucking refine your day game, your cold approach. If you're not getting laid, if you're not happy with your sex life right now, uh, chances are I can help you out. So, you know, if you just, I mean, jump on a call, man. I mean, jump on it. Go to my website, click on the coaching. You can learn. You can book a day game consultation, photography game consultation. If you're in Tokyo, you can meet up in person, do a boot camp. Um, you know, I also have a subscription service, very fucking good value in that. Access to a blog, webinar, and Telegram chat group. So helps out the channel. Will help your game out. Um, even at different levels. Even if you're a beginner or you're pretty advanced, there's always something. When you have someone looking from an outside perspective, looking down on your game and what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, can definitely help you level up. So yeah, links in the description. Book a consultation and level up your game. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna roll out. Got to do a workout with a friend of mine. So catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace out. Bye bye. Have a good one.